Are we good to go, Gaurav? We can't hear you. Can you hear me? I extend a warm welcome to everyone present, both online and offline. First off, we'll start off with a business session. I request Vice President Education, Toastmaster Gaurav, to make the announcements on the role takers for the next meeting.
Very good evening to all Toastmasters. So the following roles have been booked for the next meeting. So the master ceremonies have been booked by Toastmasters. There is only one speaker for now, Toastmaster and one evaluator, Toastmaster Zuleka. And general evaluation has been taken by Toastmaster Nation. So there are two speech slots, two evaluation slots, one able topic master and the judges. So anybody interested in contact?
I have a point to make. I have requested also, and it's about our website, Mechan Communication Club website. There are new members, and some of the members' names, their education, professional qualification, hobbies, nothing is there. No photo also, and that should be done. Two more so the club officers, one or two are missing from that skill. So the idea behind that is there are several, but one of the important one is for the helps the MC to find out a little more instead of talking each time to find out about the other person. So please ensure that it is done.
Yes, I'll make sure it will be done.
Yeah, the whole system should be in a perfect working condition. That is the point.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav. I now request Vice President Membership Sanjana to make her announcements.
A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. The membership renewal for the term October to March is due, and whoever have not renewed it, please renew it at the earliest. Thank you, and back to you, President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana. With that, I would like to hand over the charge to the Sergeant at Arms.
So good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome dear guests. I tried to learn to cook, and I tried to learn to cook sweet pongal. So I got the moong dal ready, I got the rice cooked, and I put the jaggery on boiling, and I added all the spices. Then I mixed everything. So it was my time to balance the dish out. So I took one spoon, I tasted it. Something was still missing. So I thought, okay, once more, let me try. And then I took another spoon. The jaggery was not too much, it was too much, so I added a little salt. Then I tasted it again. So by the time I knew, I had tasted it almost 8 times. So I wanted to try once more, but it was almost 8 more tries. And I thought, okay, I think I should be practical. I had intended to cook this dish for 4 people, but now only 3 people can eat it. Then I called my mother, and then she just fixed it. You know, mothers always fix things. So, when do you have to stop? Which one more try is enough? For me, until my mother comes, that is my one more try. That is when I have to stop. And just like my mother fixes things for me, I also know another mother who fixes things by her smile. She is a science graduate, has a postgraduate diploma in systems engineering, She is a Rotarian. She is the current district editor of the Governor's monthly newsletter. She loves reading, fond of traveling, and practices yoga to keep fit. So please welcome Madam Lalana Musti with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Gaurav, if there are any guests, can you please ask them for their introductions?
Good evening once again. I can see only one guest present in today's meeting, so I request you to introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Ashush. I'm currently pursuing CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst Program. I got an introduction to the club by my uncle, James Ganpati. Thank you.
That's all from the offline guest member.
Thank you, Gaurav. I see one Mr. Yash present online. Can you please on your video and introduce yourself?
Yes. Good evening, guests and the members. I am currently a member in Ahmedabad Toastmasters Club, and I am working in Cantor as a senior consultant. The office of my company is based out of Bangalore, but currently I'm working at home, right? So post I come in Bangalore, I would be, going to some Bangalore club. So I'm just looking out of the best clubs in Bangalore.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yash. I now request Secretary Toastmaster Shiv Prasad to read the minutes of the previous meeting.
Thank you, President. Here are the minutes of meeting number 1180 held on the 19th of September 2020. The theme was staying connected, word of the week, pretext. The business session started at 6:34 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Gaurav. In the business session, the following points were addressed. The President mentioned that the club will be meeting completely in person in view of the ongoing hybrid mode starting from the 3rd of October 2020. The Vice President Education Toastmaster Gaurav mentioned that all of the roads are open for the next meeting, apart from the 3 speed slots. Interested members are requested to contact me for the same. On behalf of the Vice President membership, Treasurer Toastmaster Sandeep requested the members to renew their membership for the upcoming 6 months, that is October to March, by the 28th of September 2020. The regular meeting started at 6:36 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Sanjana H.K. started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster London. The President opened the meeting, spoke on the theme, and introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Lakshmi. The Master of Ceremonies spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day. Timer Toastmaster Shiva Prasad, Arcounter Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, Grammarian Toastmaster Jyotirao, and Evaluator DTM Vedanta. The prepared speech session had the following speeches. First one by Toastmaster Vaishnavi H, attempting level 3 project 1 and was evaluated by Toastmaster Sai Snellray. Second one by Toastmaster Ankita, attempting level 5 project 1 and was evaluated by Toastmaster Supreme. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Zuleka and had 11 speakers included. General evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Gaurav. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Ankita, Best Evaluated Toastmaster Supreet, Best Table Topic Speakers DTM Amy Bhatt and DTM Amitabha Sara Roy, Best Role Taker Tab G Toastmaster Shiva Prasad, Best Role Taker NTG Toastmaster Lakshmi. The President closed the meeting at 8:39 p.m., which was followed by the national anthem. Thank you and over to you, President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shiv Prasad. Are there any amendments to the minutes? If not, I will consider it as accepted and open meeting number 1181. Winston Churchill said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." All of us would have encountered many situations in our lives where we may have failed, but trying that one more time would have led us to success. In the earlier days, I remember some of my cousins who had got less marks in their PUC rewrite their exams one more time to get into the course of their choice. Sometimes I feel there is so much to learn from children. Children learn cycling by falling and getting up very often. If they give up learning to cycle because of the fear of falling, they will never learn cycling. So is the case with swimming. We should not be ashamed of failing but learn to get up and try again. I am reminded of the story of the engineer, John Roebling, who wanted to build a bridge to connect New York with Long Island in 1883. However, experts from across the world felt that this was impossible and could not be done. But Roebling could not get it out of his mind and kept on thinking about it. He convinced his son, Washington, who was also an engineer, that this bridge could be built. Both of them started working on the concepts and decided how it could be done. With great excitement and expectation, they hired the crew and began working on the bridge. The project started and was indeed going on very well. But unfortunately, after a few months, John Roebling was killed in a tragic accident on the site. His son Washington was also injured. In fact, he suffered brain damage, as a result of which he could neither move nor talk. All the people who had discouraged them in the first place thought the project should be scrapped, as only the father and son were aware of the design and how the bridge could be built. But Washington was not discouraged and wanted to fulfill his father's wish at any cost. He still had the burning desire and his mind was as sharp as ever. Because of his illness, Washington could move only one finger and he decided to make the best use of it. He developed a code of communication with his wife by tapping with his finger on her arm. He communicated to his wife to call the engineers using this code of communication. Though many people were skeptical, the work on the bridge was started once again. For 13 long years, Washington continued to tap instructions on his wife's arm and communicated to the engineers until the bridge was finally built. This is the spectacular Brooklyn Bridge, which stands as a testimony to one man's indomitable spirit. This shows that dreams that seem impossible can be realized when you try with determination and purpose. If Washington had not tried for that one last time, his father's dream would have never been realized. Dear Toastmasters, always remember that the one who falls and gets up is stronger than the one who never tried. Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying. To tell us more about the theme and to take this meeting forward, we have a Toastmaster who is presently working as a senior manager at Mecon Limited. He has earlier completed Competent Communication and Advanced Communication Bronze Manual before the implementation of Pathways program. He has been selflessly serving the club as the treasurer for many years now. He is a past president of our club and one of the most dependable members I have known. He is also known for his straight-faced humor in his speeches. Please put your hands together and help me welcome the Master of Ceremonies for the day, Toastmaster Sandeep.
Thank you, President Toastmaster Lalana, for a warm introduction. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to meeting of Mekon Communication Club. I will start with a quote for the theme today. It is given by Thomas Edison. He is known for trying 9,999 times and getting success of the 10,000 times. So many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. I'm going to tell a little story about one more trial part of my life. 28th August, I was waiting for my friend outside his apartment. And in sitting inside my car, I was listening to Udit Narayan and Kumar San. So I heard a knock on my window. I looked at, I saw a lady. I'm sure she was from Mohammed Rafi and Vishwakumar era. I could see helplessness in her eyes. She politely, very politely requested me to park her car in her garage, which her husband had not been able to do so. I was reluctant because I am also new to car and I was not good at wheels. But looking at her and both couples' helplessness, I wanted to help them. When I went to the car, it was a manual. I drive an automatic. So my reluctance it increased. Okay, so let us try because both the old couple were really in in a situation where they could not see anyone else also to help them. I took the keys, I started the engine. As you know, you release the clutch and engine stops. Release the clutch, engine stops. So it went for a couple of times. I could see the facial expression of the old lady change. Like it was from hopelessness, helplessness to like a situation where you choose a worse option than that option. So, but I somehow wanted to fix that. I wanted to give a try. So I did it. I did 100% accuracy of the parking. They had a very small place and they were very happy. It was parked to 100% of their specification, like everything. Okay, they gave me blessings and I came. This was a very small achievement. But if you see the larger scenario regarding this club, many of our club members have done significant achievements by doing small achievements in this hall itself. So we meet every Monday 6:15 p.m. To add on to the statistics given by earlier MCs, the first club meeting of Mekon Communication Club was held on 30th July 1998 and it was chartered on 1st May 1999. And I'm going to speak about the introduction of Toastmasters International because all of us are aware of the Toastmasters International. We have 3 speeches in line. I'm sure Susruta as a guest is very much aware of the club sessions also. How many club sessions do you have? And the sessions in the meeting? Yes, correct. We have 3 sessions, speaking session, table topic session and general evaluation session. We'll go to the table topic, speech session. Before that, for general evaluator, I will tell the role takers of the meeting. Grammarian, Toastmaster Pavani here to know what grammarian has to do. And of course, general evaluator is very much aware of what grammarian has to do. Timer, we have Suprava. Accounter, we have Sanjana. PT evaluator, we have BTN and Yuval. So, are we ready to go to the speech session? Yes. Yes. We have 3 speeches today. The first speaker, it is being evaluated by DTM Udanka. Can I request him to give the guidelines of the speech?
Good evening, everyone. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. Notes to the evaluator at school. During the completion of this project, the member has received the feedback about his or her speech, work to apply the feedback to a second speech. About the speech, the member will deliver a well-organized speech on any topic and incorporate feedback from her previous speech evaluation. The member will choose to present in the same speech or a new speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. Be sure that the member gives the notes of that you speak with the member before the meeting to discuss the feedback she plans to apply this speech. Pay close attention to the parts of members' presentation while also providing a comprehensive evaluation of the speech as a whole. Note to the general evaluator have received the feedback of the previous speech as well as the guidelines and project details of this 3 days in advance. Back to the master.
So the next speech is somebody will do it. Most of us see a stranger on the road needing help. Some of us do really stop by, and some of us think that someone else will do it. Why to bother? Let's go. Our speaker today is one of those someone else. She is going to tell us how she went all the way out of her comfort zone to help in a COVID times. She is dedicated, diligent, and a distinguished teacher who gives utmost priority to mental health of children. I must say, future of those children are in very good hands. I'm sure her speech will be a life lesson for all of us. So to hear the story of sympathy, support, and success, please welcome Toastmaster Julekha with a big round of applause.
As an individual, some of us tend to shy away from our responsibilities, assuming somebody else will do it. The actual problem is everybody thinks like that. Everybody is thinking the similar way, and nobody takes action. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, happy evening. Today, I would like to quote one such scenario which I experienced during the COVID, second day of COVID. When I was coming back from my evening walk, I happened to see a person lying on the pavement. He was fully covered by a dirty, torn rug. I stood there for a while, observed, and looking at that humanity at that stage, my heart broke. So I went to a nearby Panipuri wala. I inquired, who is this person lying here? What has happened to him? He in his tone said, Yaro gottilla madam, Bodwara tan hakodidare illi, ಒಂದು lady, auto tan ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪಾಪ ಮುತ್ತಯ್ಯ ನಡೆಯಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನರಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. That even made my heart cry for help. So what I did, I speculating the man, whether he's still dead or alive or what has happened to him, is sick. I immediately called a friend of mine. He is a go-to friend. Anything happens in my life, day or night, he's the first person to call. So I called him and said, this is the scenario. What do I do now? How do I help this person? He said, Julekha, look, this is COVID time. Please stay away from it. Do not get into trouble unnecessarily. I thought for a while, yes, what he's saying is true. All of us have gone through a very bad situation those days. So I said, yes, I agreed with it, and I walked back home. And that evening, my newly married daughter had invited us for dinner. I was super excited to go meet her. We all got ready and left. It was around 8:30. On the way when I was going there, this thought of the old man's situation was still lingering in my heart. My conscience did not permit to ignore. So I tried one more time. I called another friend of mine and explained her the scenario. Please guide me, what should I do? It's this old man, this person there is in a pathetic state. What do I do? She suggested me, just call 100. Immediately, from my vehicle, I called 100 and explained the police control room the scenario of the old man near the Krishna Park. Within 5 to 10 minutes, I get another call from Basangudi police station asking more details about this person. So on the way I explained, oh, this is the place, this is the location, and this is the condition of the person. Please help. Immediately, in a couple of minutes, police reached there with an ambulance. And they wanted to take him to the hospital, but unfortunately, the old man is not ready to go. I get another call from the police saying, Madam, he is not ready to come. He says tomorrow morning, one of his sisters is going to visit him, so he is not ready to come. I said, Inspector, please do not heed to the old man's word. Somehow please talk to him and convince him and take to the hospital because he needs medical attention. Thank God, somehow this police inspector was able to convince the old man and he took him to the hospital. And then again, after some time, I get a call from the police inspector saying, Madam, we have admitted him in Victoria Hospital. Doctors are attending him. Don't worry, he is safe. I also requested the police inspector. The man was talking about his sister visiting him yesterday. What are you going to do about it? Because next morning she will come to the spot and she will not find brother there. He said, don't worry, madam. I will send one of my constables to the spot tomorrow morning and he will take care of that. So as he promised, the next morning, the police inspector called me and said, the constable has met the person and the lady has been directed to the hospital. I felt very much relieved, and helping this kind of service to the humanity brought a huge smile on my face, $1 million smile. And then for that day I decided, henceforth, anywhere I see help and need is required, I will be that somebody who is going to take responsibility. Thank you so much.
I'm sure you have shown us example how to help people. We'll move on to the second speaker. And I understand the evaluation manual is same for second speaker as well. So we'll skip that also to save some time. And I'm all doing this for all the members to get on table topics. So our second speaker, when I asked her about theme one more try, she said it can be applied in both professional and personal life. So in personal life, there are many failing relationships. Why not us to give another chance, another call to make that, to revive that relationship? And in profession as well, why not try once more to achieve something in our life? Her speech title is "No is not an answer," like our bosses. She is going to tell us her journey of trying random ways of earning her livelihood, trying many new ventures, taking each failure in her stride, overcoming challenges, and enriching her life with knowledge, relationship, and experience. She is currently working as HR manager at Infocon. Let's hear it from Toastmaster Jyoti. Please give us
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunday, for that very unique way of introduction. I was sitting headband, awaiting for the words news to hit my ears. Without a sound, and as quick as a night breeze, the doctor announced, "I am sorry to say my husband has passed away." And I said to myself, "Zero bank balance sheet." Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Post-marriage, I did my CA, cooking assistant. I did my MCA, managing children's affairs. I moved forward and completed my MBS also, management of domestic services, and finally got the title of CFO, Chief Family Officer. In 2007, with zero bank balance and children aged 10 and 15 years of age, my only choice was to step out of the house to earn and make a living. Going to 9 to 5 job was out of question because I had no previous experience. And I wanted to devote my time for the well-being of my children. I took up random job and task to build on my finance. One thing that is given free by many people at many times and everywhere is advice. Though advice is given free, most of the time it is worthless. But for me, at that particular time, the advice given by my friend was God-sent gift. She told me to take up small savings scheme agency at the post office. SSS agent can deposit the amount of RD amount or NSC or MIS on behalf of the customer or client. Before I start, I'm very cold. I'm sorry to pause. I'm sorry.
No problem.
As I'm a people's person, I had a huge network of people, and I thought this would be a lucrative job to take up. My challenge began. I now had the designation of SSS Agent 2, not Agent 007. Though I had a large network of people, I realized we cannot put everyone into one basket. Each one interacts, provides, accepts in their own unique way. I now have to create a new network for my business to develop. If any one of you have visited Baswangodi post office in particular, the moment you walk in, you will find from somewhere ladies will come and stand opposite you, asking if there is any deposits or investments to be done. These are SSS agents with n number years of experience. Any person who walks in, they will charm with their words and make sure that you deposit through them. I too, as an investor, have undergone this experience. They are like sharks. Any walk-ins, they will surely convert them into their clients. I too decided to swim into the ocean of SSS ring and make my path. One fine morning, I took in a deep breath and I parked myself at the entrance of the post office. I had memorized my marketing dialogues. The first person walked in and with full battery charge, I delivered my first prepaid speech non-stop. Our eyes met. He moved past me and approached another sharp lady. He did not wait to hear me. And then I realized I was whispering. My leg started shaking. I started sweating profusely and I ran to the den of my home to lick my wounded ego. From next day onwards, to overcome my fear, I religiously conducted myself at the entrance of the post office to win over a couple of times. In a week's time, my whisper had progressed to murmur. The sharp ladies would be hovering around and I was no match for them. A problem is a problem until it is solved. I took up new strategy. I decided to build on my communication and marketing skills. When children went off to school and at not such a peak hour of the day, I walked into every shop, office, bank, clinic in Gandhi Bazaar. I approached the people sitting at the counter and delivered my speech, delivered my dialogue. Initially, it was very awkward. I was trembling. Sir, I am a post office agent. Do you have any deposit? Madam, can I please come tomorrow? They shooted me away. They had no time for me, but no was not to be accepted. I slowly started observing their facial expressions, their body language. And every day I would create new script and deliver it to the clients. I saw that each person, through their aggression, confusion, irritation on me. Oh, madam, why did you come in the morning? I have no money. You can come tomorrow or some other day. Or if you have, you give it to me. I did not react to their throwing syndromes. I said I will encash on them. Talking to innumerable people every day with new script, it increased my morale. And then over a period of time, I built up my confidence. I started approaching them and with confidence I said, good morning, sir. I am post office savings agent. I am here to give you service at your doorsteps. If you deposit 2,500 every month, you do so many expenses which you are not even aware of. Just 2,000 to 2,500 rupees per month in 5 years' time, you will be getting 1,70,000 and more, which you can invest in your company, in your business or anywhere else. And such, and thus, people started getting convinced. My confidence and my tone gave me the strength, and my clients started getting convinced. Over a period of time, they started referring me to other clients and other people. And thus, out of many errands that I did, SSS agency took over me for a long time. I did make money, my bank account multiplied, and so also my life experience and knowledge. And today, over a period of time, I have raised my children and I have smoothed safely through and through in my life. Anything is possible if no is not an answer to be accepted. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, madam. It was really an inspiring speech. So I would just give one J for James. So it's for Jyoti. Jyoti. So we'll move on to the third speaker. Our third speaker is known for, okay, before that, I'll go to the evaluator, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome, guys. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. Notes for the evaluator. During the completion of this project, the member responded to a questionnaire to help identify his or her style. About the speech, the member will deliver a well-organized speech about some aspect of communication styles. The member may choose to speak about his or her own communication style or the impact of communication styles on him or her. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech should not be a report on the content of the Understanding Your Communication Style project. All the best to the speaker. Back to you, MC.
So when I asked this third speaker about theme today, he said that you can always give it one more try, but life is very short. So why not try something else? So like visiting Dadra and Nagar Haveli. So all of you are aware of Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Yes. We can ask guest issue. It is a union territory. I think it is on Arabian Sea, just beside Gujarat and Maharashtra. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. So our third speaker is known for his booming voice, very witty remarks, and remarkable commitment for the club. He has been awarded Best Toastmaster of the Term and Best Speaker of the Term for the January to June 2022 term. He has been Associate Sergeant at Arms and presently he is Secretary for this July to December 2022 term. Few of us have already described him as 7 AM guy because his minutes of the meeting just reaches on Tuesday 7 o'clock morning. What a coincidence. Your secretary is 7 AM guy and your treasurer is 8 PM guy. So you know what is 8 PM. Nothing to do with whiskey. When I asked, so please welcome Toastmaster Siva Prasad with a big round of applause to listen his speech, Dadra and Nagar Haveli.
Good morning, children. Let us quickly get started with the march past. Okay? Left, right, left, left, right, left. Shiva, are you alive? Shiva, my dear, are you alive? You are. Good. Master of Ceremonies, fellow masters, and dear guests. I just showed you how my third standard PE teacher would call me out, and on numerous occasions. And this was because I have always excelled at looking dead and disinterested. Growing up, my body language was nothing great, nothing inspiring, nothing inviting. There's always something like this. Super excited, very sad. And add to this body language, shy nature and some introvertedness. And what you get is the literal embodiment of don't speak to me. So now this had to change. I contacted my master's mentor, TTM Udanta, communication problem, please help. He said, do questionnaire. Questionnaire on Toastmasters website. Discover your communication style. So I did that questionnaire and discovered that my style was, the one that I scored the highest on was supportive communicator. Now the website gave me a few adjectives to describe this style of communication. Dependable, loyal, often perceived as careful, patient, calm. Now, they were really nice adjectives in my word. I agree with all of them. But there was one line in that definition which actually stood out to me. And that was, Supportive communicators prefer a personal, relaxed, and no tension environment. I couldn't agree with this anymore. Just going back to my school and college days, I remember when the entire class would be screaming out questions, answers at the top of their voices, I would lose my mind. Too much stress, too much to take. I would just shut up and sit there. And when things quietened down, I would take over. There was this one time our social studies teacher walked in somewhere in 2010 and 2010-11. And she said, you guys will name the Union Territories of India. So, one fact about me, I have spent more time with an atlas than any other book to date. So, I let the class start off. Ma'am, Delhi, yes. Pondicherry, very good, very good. Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Nice. Chandigarh, okay, very good. Now the dust started to settle down. The class was quieting down. Slowly, the topper girl in the first bench stands up. Daman and Diu. Teacher is impressed. Wow, very nice. And then she goes on to say, there is one more Union Territory, you might not have heard of it. And at that point, she can see a hand going up. A hand nobody had ever seen before. It was my hand. I stood up. I said, ma'am, Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Now, just like two people have the knowledge of where Dadra and Nagar Haveli is, only two people knew that Shiva Prasad was there in the class. But that is not the case at another place called Mekon Communication Club, Toastmasters. Because this is exactly what I need. A personal, relaxed and no tension environment. Excluding the table topics part. Here you say, Shiva, go ahead and speak. I get a chance to speak here every week. And we all will sit here with deference to you and just listen to what you have to say, and when you're done, we'll upload and send you back. I also get a personal mentor. I have my own pathway. I can pick projects on the website whenever I need. Speaking of the website brings me back to that questionnaire, where I scored second highest on the direct style of communication. And I more or less agree with this. I do consider myself a bit of a straightforward person. To give you an example, you might have seen me giving general evaluations or evaluations here. I struggle to sugarcoat my words, and I often end up calling a lion as a lion and a cat as a cat. Going back to my evening college days, I was once caught using my smartphone by a very strict lecturer. Now, some other guys just escaped the said, sir, important call from mother, father, uncle, somebody died, important message. This guy, sir, I was bored. Now, I don't recommend saying that to your lecturer, but what this style gives you an advantage is this style of speaking can come across as naturally humorous because you're often stating the obvious. Finally, wherein I scored the lowest on that questionnaire, and that was on the initiating communication style. All my life, I have waited for someone else to initiate things, someone else to initiate the conversations, someone else to start the discussion. And one small regret I will always have is not talking to that girl, not talking to that person, not asking that question in class when I really wanted to. But I did not, because of the fear of looking like a fool. My fellow Toastmasters, my only request to you is let go of that fear. Do what your heart says is right. Go ahead and ask that question, because embarrassment is much better than regret. And this reminds me of a quote by the Chinese philosopher Confucius. The man who asks a question today is a fool for a minute, but the man who doesn't is a fool for life. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siva Prasad, for, I told you, he has a very booming voice. And he did that. Very witty and very humorous. Very good round of applause for all the three speakers. Rather than having an excellent speech session, now we'll move on to the table topic session. To conduct table topic session, we have a very special person. He has gained a reputation, or I would say recognition here, because he is new to our club. I remember I received a call from her as a guest, like, can I join your club and other things. I asked, what do you do? And she told all those things, and I just told her, we don't have anything to teach you, or we rather have to learn something from you. You are already professional, you are already experienced, so that we can learn from something from you. So she has become a member. She is an experienced professional. She is an electronics engineer and holds an MS in computer science from Arizona State University. She is a certified project management professional and a Scrum Master. So after working in companies in US, in India, she has embarked on an entrepreneurial journey for the last few years. She enjoys reading and listening to Hindustani classical music, and is learning to play the veena. So I request everyone to give her a big round of applause for the topic session to Master Lakshmi.
Thank you, MC, for that very nice introduction. A fun and festive evening to all of you, Toastmasters, and guests. Welcome. So, can you, L-T-O-S-C? It's a collection of verbs. There is no word in English for collection of words. It's a silly acronym that I came up with. Can you listen, think, organize, and speak impromptu? So let's give you the perfect platform to do that. So let's do table topics. Here, I will give you a topic, and I will call upon one of you and expect you to speak on that topic impromptu for a couple of minutes, a minute or two. So this is designed to develop the 4 skills that we mentioned earlier: listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. So let's begin. The first question. So today, I have powerful hands. Once I shake your hand, you will have the power to go back to one instant in your past, any instant of your choice, and change the outcome to how you want it to be. So tell us where you are going to go and what you are going to change. Okay. For this, I call upon take it from a Once I shake your hand, which I have done, you will have the power to go back to one instant in your past, whatever it is you choose, and change the outcome to what you want it to be. Where will you go and what will you change?
Madam Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome. I live in a world very close to this place, and because I'm a few streets away, North Road, and leading finally to Lalbagh. Huge house, joint family. But one problem was there with the whole system, not with the home, but the society at that point of time. Not the system around. That was every home had to stand in a queue to buy a patient. There was always a shortage. We were 5 brothers, and my mother was managing the joint family. The eldest would go to the college, and he would stand in the queue in Baswanpuri Cooperative Society, the busiest place to him. He will keep a kerosene or a bag, stand in the queue, first 1 hour. Then I will go there, stand in the queue, after having first thing is a milk mother would be stand in the queue, relieve him so that he goes to college. So on and so forth till such time last developments. At that time, my mother would pack off lunch for different people at home, breakfast and lunch for somebody. And then she would come back and take over the position of the queue. And this was the way it was. There was a queue and rush for you collecting water. We had fortunately well at home. No tap was there, no water. Electricity connection, no electricity. This was the state in 1960s. And kerosene, they used to come in some sort of a push cart and they used to distribute, and you had to be really going towards that picking up. That's in between. This was Bangalore and perhaps the country itself. And somehow I perceived this one change that I have wanted to do. Well, at that time, I should be able to buy whatever I want, whatever little quantity I want, to wherever I go, and you should have. And to that extent, the only change that later on government did was towards that. It was a very big relief for me. In fact, I would have done it years ago. If one change I wanted, that was years ago. We spent time wasting on all these things, not doing anything productive, meaningful to our own rights, even as a society as a whole. That was the era I don't want to relive again. And I don't want this generation even think on that. Today, this hand, you do it, you get the food itself. In our days, nothing was there. My mother struggled with kerosene stove. Even that was not there. There was this agishtique. You have to blow this thing, and today you switch on, you have hot water. So things have changed. But at that point of time, the most needed thing was a free economy. If I were to get one more chance, I would still go for freedom and economy. Over to you.
What a revelation. Long live free economy. All right. The next question. Which parent are you closer to? Why? This goes to Toastmasters IC.
Good topic, master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. It would be really unfair for me to answer that question because both my parents watch the recording every week. So, sorry, mom and dad, if I'm trying to pick a side. You really can't pick a side of who you're close to, regardless of both of them being your parents. For certain topics or discussions, you're close to your father. For another set of topic or discussions, you're close to your mother. If I were to interchange between, it would be really not practical. I cannot speak about cars to my mom, and I cannot speak about cooking with my father. I will not get a proper answer. So, I really want to go against the topic by not taking anybody because as a child to anybody, it's really hard. It's like which part of which eye do you like the most? You cannot live without the other. This was a very nice story that I read across one of the social media platforms. He asked, if you were to choose which parent you like or prefer the most, there was a nice little comment which says, which leg would you want to walk on the most? Is it your left leg or is it your right leg? That's what this question boiled down to. So if that goes by, I would want to walk on both my legs. Thank you, and back to the mark.
I think the parents will be so proud of you watching the recording today. If you want anything from them, now's the time to ask. All right, next question. Narrate an experience where the one more try attitude helped you to be successful. This goes to Toastmaster Palmi.
Very well, Toastmasters. Sincerely saying, attending this class itself is the answer to your question. Because in so many weeks, I was trying to participate in those table topics. Somehow we are getting some role or some, otherwise I couldn't even come and attend on that particular day, something. So when Toastmasters somebody told we are not wasting time in the rest of things, so everybody will get an opportunity. And then, oh nice, today I'm going to take one opportunity. To try, it's been months to having those butterflies in my stomach.
So when we are not just stopping and doing it once again, we definitely feel that. Okay, so once again for everything. So,
wish you all the best at your Toastmasters journey. Let us all succeed together. So the next topic is, if it is true that we experience our greatest growth and learning from failure, why are we so afraid to fail? If it is true that we experience our greatest growth and learning from failure, why are we so afraid to fail? This one goes to Vivian and you.
Experience and failure. That's the question being asked all of us. You know, sometime a couple of weeks back, I met one person and I was going to Vayanagar in the school. Just as I was parking on BMW came out. Not just to just one smart fellow with Vega glasses and driving on table. Hi, English, how are you? Just trying to make a fool of him. Then I said, oh, Ram, you know, he was a total failure in our engineering college in MIT. He was the last bencher always. Never got passed with like this ultimately the final year. Did not get job for so long a time. You know, he changed so many jobs. It's a small job here, there, and all. He was totally unsuccessful person. Never learned from experience. I don't know what happened. And we got in public sector. You know, I was very proud. What I got, I estimate like. And I just was going. Okay, you are the last bencher. You are such a failure. I know. How did you become so successful? I know that you have been a failure. You lost so many jobs and all that. Oh, it's a long story. You know, there was a person who was a businessman, who was the money, but he did not have experience. I was a person who did not, I did not have money, but he had got experience. He had money, but he did not have experience. He wanted to start something. So we started a business together. I thought, okay, the business must have been successful. No, the business paid. But now he has got my experience and I have got his money. So ultimately, money and experience, success, they are all different things. The way you look and way you operate, it matters. That is my take on that fact.
The next question is, this is a scenario, you always park your car in your garage. So for whatever reason, you come in the morning, sat down in your car, I don't know what happened, you started your car without thinking, you drove it through the garage door. So now, explain what you did to your wife. This one goes to Toastmaster Balaji.
Thank you, Madam Topic Master, for the topic. Given the scenario that I basically crashed my car and I have to explain it to my wife. No stereotypes, but I think it's more probable that my wife might do that and come and tell me that she is crashed. But anyways, I've always fantasized about cars right from a very young age. There was this crazy game called Need for Speed. So I always used to think like I own the car whenever I finish a level and get it. And whenever a pole is impounding the car, I used to literally shut off the CPU so that it doesn't get saved in the game. And next time I open the game, the car is still there. So that's how long it has been since I have had my fascination with cars. So I cannot really relate to a scenario where I literally go and crash the car because I'm extremely careful and I treat it like a living being. But with regards to other people coming and crashing it, maybe that's something which I can relate to. Because last week, what happened was there was this mini tempo traveler which was trying to cross me. I mean, we were going in opposite directions, but it was a very narrow road. I squeezed in and went, and he also went by. But behind, he had two doors which was open, and he had no clue that it was open, and he literally put a huge scratch in my car. So that was actually as though it was scratch in my heart. So that's how close I treat my car as. But that experience also taught me something. It's after all just a piece of material. and it's not that big a deal, and it makes more sense to actually have that such kind of feelings towards people rather than towards material. With regards to if I go and actually crash my car and go and tell it to my wife, she will actually be happy because she's always not very happy because I always make fun of her driving. I mean, I'm not trying to generalize here, but yeah, so because she thinks she's a good driver, but actually she's not. But so whenever so if she actually comes to realize that I have actually gone and crashed the car, she will be very happy because she has something to get back at me, and I will lose the privilege of making fun of her driving. So I think she will rather be happy than sad. I go and tell her that I crashed the car. Thank you.
Make sure that the wife knows that. All right, next question. Here is an app genie. Just imagine this is an app genie. Nowadays, everything is an app. You think about it, it's an app. So if you give this genie your app requirements, she will build you one in 2 days. So can you tell her what you want in her dream app? This one goes to Toastmaster Super. Okay, so you have an app genie with you. So if you tell the genie what you want in your dream app, she will build you one. So tell her what you want.
A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and SGES. So if there is such opportunity, I used to watch Doraemon since kid. So I would, if it's possible, then I would ask the genie to build me an anywhere door because I stay in BTM there so that I can come on time. I was given timer today and I thought I'd be at 6:20 and ask my tons of questions to Gaurav, but I was at 6:24. As someone who wants things to be in a place and wants to get things done under a time, that little thing hurt me. So if there was an anywhere door, I would have, it's easy to go anywhere. You just, save a lot of money, time, anything. So yeah, I would ask G to build me an anywhere door.
You can count me in on your marketing team. All right, next question. Were you ever able to successfully break a bad habit of yours? Tell us how. Were you ever able to successfully break a bad habit of yours? Can you tell us how? This one goes to Toastmaster Raghunath.
Good evening, Toastmasters, and welcome guests. So, actually, bad habit of a person, usually it's fickle money. It's even considered as anger if you think about it. So, yeah, anger which was a problem, so I thought of it and had an outgo of it. So, that was the thing. Thank you.
Really hard one to break. So congratulations on that. All right, next one is, what are your thoughts on this topic? It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till it's over. I invite one of the guests if you want to talk about it.
I'd love to talk about it.
Any online guests that would like to talk about it?
Yeah, I think Yash would like to talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
Madam, can you repeat the topic? I was having an issue with the network. Can you repeat the topic?
Yes, ma'am.
It ain't over till it's over.
Okay. Yeah, understood the topic. It ain't over until it's over. Every time when we come up with the challenges, we always have this situation in mind that we will not be able to do it because we are not fit to do it. But believe me, when you start doing it is when you realize that the task which seemed to be a mountain is much lesser than it. That is what I have encountered in my life. I was a commerce graduate. I pursued CFA and MBA together. Post that I joined Kantar. I thought that it is an IT-based company, so I would not be able to do coding. But when I actually stepped into the boots, I not only coded, but I also led the project. And today, within a span of 1 year, I got promoted from a consultant to senior consultant. Likewise, there are many other experiences which people have to share. So with this, I conclude, it ain't over until it's over.
What is your core quality? It is what makes you you. It is something that you would never compromise on. For this, I invite Sanjana. Good evening to the Toastmasters and welcome to your guests. I'm coming behind the lectern and we will talk it after years. Although I've joined this club only 6 months ago. But yeah, so the topic is what's my core quality that makes me me, and without which you cannot survive. So my core quality is I do not worry. I don't know how I got it, mostly from my father, but I just don't worry. Like there are instances where like I've lost something and I just go and sleep, and that has also caused trouble to other people. But that is something I cannot compromise on. I really don't remember a day where I have worried about anything. So that is my core quality. And that's it. Thank you all for your participation. It was a fun round of table topics. You know the best way to stay, develop the LTOS skill is of course always one more try. So thank you all.
Master Lakshmi for conducting a wonderful table topic session. Now, already we have been told that we are feeling very good, so we can go have hot lemon tea, and we'll come back here in 10 minutes. Today's general evaluator is a DTM. He, as per Toastmasters language, it is a distinguished Toastmaster. You can tell him as a dedicated Toastmaster, disciplined Toastmaster, to some extent direct Toastmaster. He will tell you what you did not do in the club as per the rules. He is someone who many in our club, in our area, in our district itself, comprising all the clubs in Bangalore, look up to. His dedication and discipline has been distinguished. He has been a Toastmaster for past 2 decades, almost 3 now. He has been mentoring countless number of Toastmasters, and he accepts that he feels joy when they do well. Personally, I look up to his impromptu speaking skills during table topics. He has won Best Table Topic Speaker of the Term award in the last 5 consecutive terms. 2.5 years, he has been the best table topic speaker of the Communication Club. Technology is his love and livelihood. He retired from services of Mecon Limited as a joint general manager and as in charge of electrical engineering department of Mecon Bangalore in year 2014. So please welcome with a big round of applause DTN A.K. Prabhakar.
Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar Bhalia for that. A generous introduction. My mother would have been proud. My father would not have believed. It's about it, but still, thank you. Let me start. The job of a general evaluator is to give an overview of how the meeting went. But the whole meeting is about the general evaluation is about feedback. And feedback starts with certain assumptions. Let me put it this way. Let me take you to the very fundamental of communication. What it is to be a good communicator. What is communication? Communication is transferring an idea or a thought in either oral or written form. In this case, both are in Toastmaster, both are used. You draft a speech, then you speak. When you draft a speech, there is a time restriction. You know, when there is time restriction, you should know that normal human being who speaks, let me at whatever rate, is the rate of speech, the words that he can really release is about 100 to 120 words per minute. So when you draft the speech, keep that in mind. So 700 to 800 words, you will be within that. This is the one small thing that I want. What is the definition I have told of communication? How to be within time I have told. Then when it comes to evaluation and feedback, the principle you should pathways, it has changed a little bit. Okay. There are 3 things that the evaluation sheet gives. All evaluation sheet in pathways. That is, in the first sheet, they talk of where you excel and what you should challenge upon when you give the speech, next time when you give the speech, and what you can work upon, or what is your weakness, what you should work towards in order to make it better. Everybody cannot be a champion. Toastmasters, they're the same. That is better thinking, better speaking, better listening. You can be better than whatever you are. The Toastmaster ambience is going to make you do that. But you can still be doing better than whatever you imagine. And based on that, you can keep on improvising as you go along. Then what is this excellence? What you excelled at, what you should challenge upon, what you should work upon. What is it to be based upon? This is what is the evaluation about. In the second sheet, they have given first priority is clarity. First marking out of the 5 tick boxes that we have to do is clarity. In the speech, clarity. I talked about idea, thought. So clarity is, that is evaluation. Evaluator should define what was the idea behind the speech. He should be able to, he or she should be able to identify clarity. then eye contact, vocal variety, then gestures, audience, what your speech did it suit fit the audience. Then could you generate interest? It's about interest, next point. Then there is a topic. In some evaluation sheet, it is there how the topic was held. Did he or she, the speaker, hold on to the topic clearly throughout? Did it build interest? What was the point of the speech? There are only 3 or 4 ways for a speech. One is the speech purpose is either to inform or inspire and entertain or persuade. That's all. These are the 4 broad headings. These, why I am telling this is not what we are not going to get in any general evaluation or education session. This is what I have synthesized over the years. This is what. And all this has to be done in an ambience of Toastmaster value, Toastmaster values. That is respect for the individual, respect, integrity, you walk the talk, service to the member in short, and excellence. How well you executed your task, whether it's leadership, whatever role you took, whether it's evaluator, even including the general evaluator. Did you excel? Excellence is this one. Excellence is that, I would like to bring in a quote here. Excellence is that ability by which you keep on improving whatever you have got to offer to this world. Keep on improving. So this gives an opportunity. It's a mutually supportive ambience. Each is a very forgiving ambience. Yet something that is told is in a very value way, very friendly way, so that you improve upon, so that you don't let yourself down. You keep on improving. Having said that, let me take you to the first of the project speeches. Before that, I request you all to vote for the best speaker, project speaker, best the table topic speaker, so that you are not prejudiced by the evaluation given by the evaluator. I'll give you a couple of 10-20 seconds. Quickly, you can do this. I consider it is done. And now I'll request the project speech evaluator of the first speech. The first speaker today was Toastmaster Zuleika. Somebody will do it. Evaluator is
whether it is COVID or not, many people tend to say, somebody is there to do for us. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and an evaluator and Toastmaster Zuleika in particular. What an amazing speech. What an amazing start to your speech, I would say that. You started off with the speech while explaining how a human tendency is, or rather, most of the human's tendency is to look at the world and then you retake the audience. So that's a good, very good start for the speech, and you had all the audience throughout your speech looking at you or involved in your speech. That start gave that momentum for you. Very well done on that. Before I actually go and deep into the evaluation, I just wanted to give it out to the audience. The points which were recommended for Toastmaster Zuleika in our last evaluation was on time, accounts, and touch words. These were the 3 points which I could work on for the speech. And I'm happy to say that you have excellently worked on your accounts and your touch words, but our timing was a little there. Last time you overshot the time, and this time you concluded your meeting very soon. You concluded it almost on 5.5 minutes. So you had still 1.5 minutes in your hand to express what you wanted to tell. So I got to know that you, as soon as you saw the card, you were a little nervous and you had to complete it soon. So it's okay, you can take your time for that. You had 1.5 full minute for you to give out what you wanted to say. So practice once more a couple of times so that you have a proper idea of what the exact timings was there for you. Because once you practice in they know what time to be there. So that's one thing. Now the second thing, what actually we told the audience in this was a personal story. A personal story added on this to your speech will always have the audience interest in you. So that was the good point to check up on. Now, third point, what I a little bit observed is when you were telling that you were a little bit not okay with going to your daughter's house for having dinner, but you were still with the person there, your voice was little slightly down. I don't know, was it intentionally or was it because of the AC's coldness? So, if it was not because of that, it is a really good thing, but because you were a little low at that time, so you expressed in your speech also that you were a little low. So, that checks on the voice modulation also. Now, coming to the points where you can work on, this is time, as I mentioned earlier. Time is one thing you can work on. Secondly, you have one camera stands in your speech. It's okay to have the other language stanzas in your speech, but if you could translate again after you tell it, if you could translate it to the English, so the audience who don't know Kannada or any other languages could understand what you were telling. So if you could translate that and continue with your speech, that would be a really good point. Now, coming to what you can challenge to the next speeches or the upcoming speeches is again once again time. Because time was what I've observed is from past two speeches also, time is one constant thing that the evaluator is giving to you. So if you could focus on the time, it would be a very good speech. Your speech is already at a level, it would take your speech to the next level. With that note, all the best to your upcoming speeches and handing over the charge back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, VP and Dilan, for that size kind of comments, feedbacks. One thing I would like to mention here is that when you are given a chance to read out the evaluation sheet, the purpose of the project, consider, this is for everyone, consider that it is as if you are reading, you are in front of a TV, you are a TV news reader. You should be matter of fact and you should be slow inside to the extent that the other person understands. Remember, audience is who is the buyer of our product or speech. So he should or he or she should be able to catch. So you don't have to hurry through them. Take your time, base it in such a way that others understand the evaluation point of view. It helps. Reading is also some kind of a thing that you should develop in this process. So remember, the audience buys your product and product is your speech, whatever it is. And as far as evaluation is concerned, you pointed out rightly the time aspect, and I have pointed out how to arrive at the right time. And I would say, add on to that is that if you add a dialogue to it, the situation, which to an extent she did that, then it brings, you can say, it brings life to the situation. And that is an important thing that she did it successfully. Rest of the things were all right, I would say. Your evaluation was really good in the sense that you pointed out that translation aspect of it. It comes from the point of your audience. So audience is something that you have to keep in mind all the time. And that you did it successfully for that a really heartfelt kind of situation that was described in the speech by the speaker and superb evaluation by DT and Budaka. Let's give a round of applause. Next project speech was by Toastmaster Jyoti Ram. No is not an answer. Evaluator, Toastmaster Gaurav Badal.
Very good evening for Toastmasters and Toastmaster Jyoti in particular. No is not an answer. When I came to know about this title, reminded of my mother because she used to always say when I was a kid, as something that was on us. Okay, so I'll be evaluating your speech in three divisions where you excel at, where you may have to work upon, and where you have to challenge yourself. So before I start, I saw your first speech evaluation form, and the feedback that was given to you where you have to work upon was on your eye contact. And you did that wonderfully today. I could see that you were looking at each and every one in this meeting room, and that kept an audience to focus on what you're saying, and they were indulging in speech. So as in when you started talking, I purposely wanted to pinpoint what are the mistakes you wanted to do or what you're doing. Okay. So as I noted on one mistake, you rectify it in the next sentence. I'm like, okay, I have to scratch this again I have to read. So I'll tell you where you actually excel at. First of all, what an opening, to be frank. You came here, you took 2 minutes to start. I thought you forgot what you wanted to say. Then I'm like, okay, what should I do? No, it's already forgotten. It's starting opening. And then when you wanted to get into that emotion, you started with the sad tone. And that opening really gave me a goosebumps. I'm someone who doesn't get goosebumps so often, and that's for giving me a goosebumps. So, and you had a little bit of humor in between. It's very difficult to keep a pinch of humor in between a scene, like serious speech. Like I cannot do it. If I have to give a speech, I'll give either it's a serious one or a humorous one. But you have both in, a mixture of both. So a very good job on that. For example, GCA, which means the abbreviation was something else. I was starting accountancy, doesn't involve in an introduction. Then I'm like, okay, something else. Then CFO, agent, W7. And one thing I have, you have given many speeches before in the talk, and I've seen that many evaluators have told you that you need to work on a vocabulary. And today you have wonderful vocabulary. For example, you told leave my wounded ego. That is going to be with me forever. Otherwise, it was this my entire life trust me. That's such a wonderful sentence. And where you have to work upon, there's nothing to very big mistake, but to pinpoint, you stammered a bit in between. I know either you forgot your speech and tried to remember before the ASC, I think. And of course, you all of a sudden said, okay, before I continue, can I please request someone to sit on the ASC? So I would suggest before you start giving your speech, be comfortable with your environment. See if you're really ready to go, then start. It's okay if you come here and take 5 minutes to get ready, and there you go. Because when you're giving a speech, it's like a movie. Okay? So if you're watching a movie in a movie theater, and all of a sudden the screen goes black, everyone starts shouting. So that is what happens in a speech as well. If you stop in between, then people will lose attention. Lose the attention that have towards the speech. Again, even though they lost their attention, you anyways got it back from your speech, wonderful speech. But I would say, get see our environment. If you're really comfortable, then start with it. I know you've been bothered by this for a very long time. You have just said, can I please switch it off and then start with this. That's all I want to say. To challenge yourself, I would just say you have a very good sense of humor. Being a humorous speaker, I can see that you can be a very great humorous speaker in the future. So I would say use that humor as an advantage. And I would like to see you give a full-fledged humorous speech. That's all for my last
Evaluation you find was complete, positive, and helpful and pointed a way forward. What he was trying to convey in essence is that it's like if you have seen a cricket batsman walking from the pavilion to the pitch, first thing you will notice in look. Wonder, is he praying to God? You wonder whether praying to God so that he plays for it or not. He goes to the pitch, then takes a look like this and taps the bag onto the pitch. As if there is something else that they have not done by bowling. These are all actions that he's trying to get. And before he takes a stance, he looks around. It's not for the crowd, where the field is someplace. That's what he was telling. Be familiar with your surroundings. In fact, I remember one person telling how Lata Mangeshkar used to perform when she was performing live. She would not only come ahead of time, but she would also make sure that a glass of water is placed in front of her and that position is known so that she picks it up in time before it chokes. Something, suppose she were to be giving consulting ACL, sometimes your voice gets dry. In fact, one of the Toastmasters asked me about that. And that's the reason she used it. So kind of preparation you have to make is that everything, nothing else, nothing should be left loose as far as preparation is concerned. You should be aware of it. And that's how I just gave an example because everybody watches cricket matches. This is the way to prepare. And when nothing is left as far as preparation is concerned, the only thing that emerges is excellence. Almost the perfection. Having said that, it was a beautiful speech as far as experience is concerned, because I've seen my friend, one-time colleague, going through the marketing effort of different nature, and he has told many anecdotes, and I was all the time remembering about that. Our experience was remarkable in the sense in the way it was narrated, and evaluation was super. I would say for that, let's give a round of applause both to the evaluator. Third speech was by Toastmaster Shiva Prasad, evaluated by Toastmaster Vijay.
Welcome his special target speaker Shiva Prasad. Congratulations for having completed level 2 project 2. See, I will be classifying your speech majorly into 2 and subclass 1. What I mean by you excel where you want to improve upon, slightly challenge. You excelled at your opening was fantastic. It grabbed the attention of all the audience. Your speech is well structured, opening, body, and conclusion were in place. You have fulfilled the requirement of the project. You explained about your communication style very clearly. That is direct communication mode, and all related also is there, like supportive, analytical, and it was humor too. That means you are not only a direct, but also combination of various styles. That is the plus point of yourself. Your vocal variety, that means your tone, volume, but well in place, add to the speech. Your modulation were in place. Body language, coming to that, very effective. Gestures were in place. You dramatized very well. That really made all the audience to participate in your speech, not to deviate. What I mean by that, body present, mind absent, that did not happen. All of us were listening to your speech intently. When it comes to question of improvement, you could have used the stage better. Why I say so? When you were in your narration, it refers to classroom experience. Your teacher, when you wanted to speak, you could use the stage better. Speaker, teacher's place, your place, etc. Coming to the timing part of it, you have used 6 minutes, 49 seconds. Remaining you could have used. Why I say? You could have used power of pause. 1 or 2 seconds, it was stop. You could have been attentive also. That is the advantage where you can improve upon. Overall summary, good speech. You connected with the audience well, expecting many more impactful speeches from you. All the best. Back to you, GM.
Evaluator, Toastmaster Vijay. I agree with most of the things as regards the pause is concerned. Let's not bother about it. He's a natural. So even in cricket coaching, because I have cricket where most of the anecdotes relate to that, is that if you are a natural, they don't change it. He is the one who will be Tandulkar someday. And his speech had that capacity. Because he was literally having the audience in his lips throughout the 7 minutes. It's almost 6 minutes, 49 seconds, you said. You are take 1 or 2 seconds. He was having, and that is really a gift. It's not easy to get. It's a high quality talent. perhaps his speech, like this speech itself, would win few contests. I would say, I would write it that way. So, natural, but your evaluation was in place to the extent you pointed out what he excelled at, what is he can challenge upon. Those are all the things. He's gifted in terms of good voice, like Amitabh Bachchan voice. Amitabh Bachchan also is very thin person. He has that. I don't know how they produce that kind of a volume. For a moment, I was scared whether I was in the classroom. Shiva, he was looking at 3 times. And every time I was really, then I'm Prabhakar, I'm not sure. Then he said, then he turned his eyes. Till such time, I was scared what he's going to really, whether he's going to give me a knock on the knuckles, I was not sure. That's the kind of commanding voice he had, the pause, the things were really filled to the brim in terms of tightly holding the topic in place. And as far as OBC is concerned, I would like to mention something which is different from what the speech and evaluation is concerned. He brought about the idea behind OBC. If you have noticed, in Toastmasters, it's an American way of doing things, writing things. They only mention one instruction only once, which is not repeated elsewhere. As far as in the icebreaker speech instruction, they talk about OBC, opening body control. Nowhere else after that. It's not like Indian guides, teacher tells you notes, then you read guides, then you go to tuition. It is not like only one instruction will be there. So never ever forget, as far as speech is concerned, opening body conclusion. Your opening should be attention catching. To justify that, you expand into the body of the speech, and conclusion should be preferably related to the opening. To prove or not to prove, is choice is yours. So big loop is the conclusion, and conclusion typically is the one that you can derive title from. And if you have noticed all three, we recognize the idea behind each of these three speeches. If you recognize the idea, title is there, but recognize the idea, saying that no is not an answer. Say, for example, right, your opening conclusion was in place. No is not an answer. How long you can take that kind of answer? That is the idea behind this. Suppose you want to recognize the idea, because communication is about conveying a thought or an idea in oral or written. How well you do. In fact, lots of rupees are spent in TV advertising because somebody is going to put across it better, an idea better in seconds. Because in cricket match, peak hours, the time money is heavily charged for that. So in a 7-minute speech, how impactful you can be. That's how you are going to make it big. In fact, whenever you are given a presentation. In fact, our Amitabh Sahara, you remember making a presentation in the US, and the time given is so little, yet he has to make an impact, and he did that. And when somebody asked him how he could do it so well, he said Toastmaster training. In fact, he recommended, many people wanted to know where he learned from. He's from our club. Somebody plays well in TCS. But the point is, you can make impact given the time. You have to focus on that. How well you can do it is the one that will give you some kind of a meaning to and satisfaction to for having done that. Having said that, these project speeches were super today, and irrespective of the situation, we learned a lot. Let's say all the speeches, all the speakers, and the evaluator, let's give them a 100 round of applause. Table topic session conducted by Toastmaster Lakshmi. I try to figure out, he has done a wonderful job of getting the right kind of experience from her. And I noticed that in the website, on MCC website, her introduction of photo is not there. And in fact, I try to get a hang of the new member, Suprabha, her name and her membership is not there at all. So something has to be done quickly so that we recognize who is our member. And we should have some kind of a hang of every time we do not have to ask what is your introduction. That should be there in place already. And please ensure that it is done. And that's what system should be in place, and it should be alive and kicking all the time. That's one of the things that we may take note, which I have mentioned already. And as a stable topic, she superbly positioned the topic according to the person. Only thing is that I was trying to make notes. I was the first person, I was not sure. So one thing that took me some time to get a hand on the situation. One other thing I would like to suggest as a stable topic is actually the first time she's doing it, is that suppose I give a topic like GS. It is washed in Dettol completely. It is for the speaker to take a position, the plus side or the minus side, advantage, disadvantage, macro to micro. So there is no need to give a hint in the direction. Garage, you are going to crash through the garage. Situation you are giving. But if you say accident, your car is damaged, it's for him to take a position. So, and give a topic, it becomes a little tougher. And then you will be, it's something like that. The topic has to be not a question. You are always addressing that next question. It is not next topic, it is topic. Topic is different from question. So that people, if the moment it's a question, people try to answer it. If it's a topic, they will handle it from different sides, different perspectives. So to that extent only, I would like to suggest, and you can keep it short. If the topic is short, chances of person speaking better is always there. It's nothing to do with the kind of value you brought today into the topic. Super. One other way I would like to suggest, apart from this, is that a lot of things is being done with respect to the topics are being given over a period of time. I have noticed is more of a human touch kind of thing. What is this, your experience? What is your something such a human side of the story? Try to do. Just think of it. A 2 days newspaper or 1 day newspaper topic is sufficient. Latest you ask, and the hot topic without religion and politics kind of thing, that will make people think to answer. That's one approach I would like to say. It's nothing to do with that, but it's in general. I think the correction has to be applied because Toastmasters says that you should draw from book. A lot of sources are there today, newspapers, books, and whatever magazines. So that people who read such things are people are normally updated, they are current. They are given they get the opportunity to speak on that topic and they start feeling that comfortable behind it. I would say explore that side of it, which is normally is not being considered. That's what I have noted. That's I thought I should bring it to the notice of the general, all the members in the club. But it was a superbly done private topic considering that she did a first time show. Let's give her a special round of applause. We have Sergeant at Arms. She's always ready with topic and short, gives a kick start to the point, and she's doing a wonderful job. I've seen that the way she organizes the meeting before we start. Everything is in place. Nothing to say except that thank you very much. President Lalana Murthy, she has her own inimitable style mark, and she's somebody who has a rhythm in her way of speaking. A very clear, crystal clear voice. Sentences are measured, the lengths are known perhaps to the last millimeter. She does that, prepares and delivers the speech, and she always does it in style. So the only way Toastmasters knows to appreciate is that a special round of applause. We have Master Sandeep. I come towards the end. Let's have in between the Tag G team timer and manager Superba to give evaluation.
A very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. So the meeting started at 6:32 p.m. and the business session went on for 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Welcomed by Sergeant Arms Toastmaster Sanjana, spoke for 2 minutes 5 seconds. Presidential address went for 6 minutes and 28 seconds. Introduction of Toastmaster of the evening went on for 36 seconds. Report on previous meeting read by Toastmaster Shiv Prasad Sharma went on for 2 minutes 14 seconds. The Master of Ceremony went on for 13 minutes 12 seconds. And the speakers, Toastmaster Zuleika, spoke for 5 minutes 36 seconds. And the evaluator, DTM Udanka, spoke for 3 minutes 28 seconds. Toastmaster Jyoti spoke for 8 minutes 50 seconds. And the evaluator, Toastmaster Gaurav, spoke for 4 minutes 10 seconds. Speaker Toastmaster Shiv Prasad Sharma spoke for 6 minutes and 49 seconds. And the evaluator, Toastmaster Vijay, spoke for 2 minutes 35 seconds. And the table topic session went on for 16 minutes 33 seconds. And the individual timings has been given on whiteboard. The break time, that is the networking session, went for 11 minutes. And the general evaluation went for 20 minutes and 18 seconds. Thanks.
This place is never left open. Take your hands, we should be seated. One more time, practice. We talked about time. Seated, acceptable. In the limits, let's say, you don't hold it very, very rigidly. Just take extra time. But look at the table topic time occupied. Hardly 3 or 4 people have exceeded 1 minute. Let's start under that. So let's remember that time given 2 minutes is yours here. Like cricket again, Sunil Gavaskar says you are sent to bat, not to get out. So 2 minutes, even if you don't speak, you stand. You learn something. You don't talk about topic, you talk of something which is different from topic. Still, you speak from here, it makes a different person. So, idea is to occupy the space. The more the lecture hours, the better you are going to become. So, please use that and keep thinking. The mind is something that keeps on wavering all the time, connecting one from the other, and you keep speaking till you make sense. Sometimes I'm asked how I manage to speak table topic. I said I start. My thinking starts when I address the audience. It's table topic or madam table topic, master, fellow toast. That's when the thinking starts here. Then somewhere along, some connection is made, and I keep talking till such time I have made sense, because it continuously it goes from here to here to here, it goes on. And connection, if it makes sense at that point, I conclude and say it's close. So you can be speaking till such time you think you have made sense. So occupy the place first. That's about it. Then we move on to the R counter Sanjana, Toastmaster Sanjana.
Good evening, Toastmasters and the guests. So this is my report. Toastmaster Lalana flawless, Toastmaster Sandeep flawless, Toastmaster Suprabha flawless, Toastmaster Pami flawless. I have done some work. Toastmaster Zuleika flawless, DTM Udanka flawless, Toastmaster Jyoti couple of ums and couple of pauses. Unintended pauses. Toastmaster Gaurav flawless, Toastmaster Shiva 2 hours, Toastmaster Vijay flawless. And coming to the table topic speeches, they were pretty good. And Toastmasters sometimes they had a couple of words.
Track of ups and downs. Think that speed the way you speak when you are a sergeant at arms. Take that opportunity, practice in such a way that last person there he should be able to hear perfectly. So that's an opportunity for me. And in case this is pointer, the way I see that next day or maybe one day later, I see the video recording. Presently, that's the greatest advantage. Thanks to Udanka, who has been doing that wonderful job. And sorry. the direction you are right. So, Sai is the one who started and holding it together, and he did a wonderful job. See, you can watch yourself whether you are what you think as what kind of image that you have of yourself. Is it really there in the video? You can see that, and that is the one that should give you the real feedback, not the evaluator alone. So the way to look at it is that go through the video. Maybe your portion only, entire 2 hours. If you are interested, you can. But look at your own thing. Did it match your image of yourself that you have? That is something that you should give the way. That gives the way to improve. That's what I do. And maybe I have not improved it after seeing that also, but I know the kind of thoughts that I have made when I see that. So please make it a point to see the video. And he is the one who is speaking sincerely that kind of videos. Having said that, we'll move on to parliamentary procedure evaluator review, DTN review.
Mr. Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. 24 years back when we started this club, it was totally a corporate club, only membership open to mechanics. We had a business meeting, marketing meeting to include more members. And we are explaining over the rules of Toastmasters, what you call business ethics, parliamentary procedures, how it should be. So, no talking about sex, politics, and religion. So, one person in the last minute got up and said, "Sir, if you can't talk about sex, politics, and religion, what will you talk about it at all?" Today, 1,181 meetings are over. And we have had all these meetings with nobody talking about sex, politics, and religion. We have had a wonderful speeches. That is something we will do. If you go to the modern WhatsApp university, that 3 things only can be found up in the WhatsApp. So what we do in Toastmasters Club is something really amazing. Coming to other aspects of our business aspects, I saw a couple of persons going out and done, but during applause. That is as per our accepted rules, acceptable. Today is the last online meeting, so I did not really comment on that. But even then, I would have appreciated if all the persons had put on their videos so that our speakers would have been confused more. There was no crosstalk, no mobile was ringing. So overall, in line with all the previous meetings, most of our meetings have been flawless. Today was no different. Wonderful as far as the parliamentary procedures went. Congratulations, let's congratulate ourselves on that, and let's keep it for all the future meetings also. With that, back to you.
He's ready for all of us. Congratulate ourselves. We are keeping it clean and neat. And let's give him a round of applause for that. The grammarian, Brennan Martin, please come.
Yeah, I found only review pages. Couldn't find a single not so good page. Let me quickly mention it. Burning desire, skeptical, indomitable spirit, reluctant, diligent, $1 million smile, people's person, throwing syndrome, embodiment, boiling down, alleviate, prejudice. And a few I really love to remember forever. Eating wounded people. Choosing worst option than bad option. Problem is a problem until it is solved. Embarrassment is much better than regret. I think I should have gone through this before I came. I will try that.
The way the voice was really held back, I would say. How to get over that kind of feeling is that before you really take up this position, you should precisely know what you are going to tell. Your voice comes from confidence. The courage is the one that drives the voice. Courage of preparation, having done it right. So mentally here, you can sub-vocalize without really producing the voice. You can sub-vocalize what you want to say, and then the voice will come. So it is not that you just walk in, you practice mentally sub-vocalizing, I said. You can even move the lips, Sometimes some of the project speakers will be noticing that they will be speaking, moving the lips. So you can do that so that your voice comes, your time is here, and that has arrived. Somebody thinks that am I going to be successful in life? This is where you will make the thing reality. And this is the place you practice to do. So give yourself the best and through that preparation. So on that note, I think I have covered everybody, and one other person is left, that is Sandeep Kumar Malayar Singh Toastmaster. Whenever he takes, I'm a fan of him for a different reason. Like he has some kind of a dry sense of humor, and he talks of he's an early morning person, but I'm an 8 p.m. person. Whoever has understood. So sometimes he can be a director special also. It depends on that. He likes Ariel Pani. He uses all kinds of things to cover, which has double meaning. Get clean. So he is somebody, his speeches are also something to use to look up. Now we have Shiv Prasad Sharma, like Jyoti Fatima. Earlier we had great Balaji. Then we had of them all, greatest was one Rajashekar Mamidan, who went on to win the championship from our club to the district. Today he's a stand-up comedian professional. He's YouTube many videos are there. He was president of our club here. So we have had that kind of thing, and sometimes we do get some brilliant speakers. Sandeep is Sandeep, and he holds something special for us. For that kind of MCing, kind of preparation he has made, you see the kind of seriousness with which he takes even after being there more than a decade with our club. Let's give him a thunderous round of applause. I'll hand over the control back to Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar Malayar Singh. Thank you, DTM for the wonderful general evaluation session. And to conclude this meeting, I would say I will never forget. I'll never forget today's meeting in terms of Toastmaster Julekha's gesture of helping a complete stranger, and Toastmaster Jyoti's inspiring speech. And Toastmaster Siva's resurrection with Dadra and Nagar Haveli. It was a very good meeting today. I could see. I really enjoyed it. 3 speeches and wonderful favorite topics and general evaluation. I wish the guests would be very much impressed and would join our club. We only charge 3,400. And it is one of the best clubs. I have the first sentence I tell to a guest or someone that our club is like in Vidyarthi Bhavan in Dosa Ward. Like it is old, very nice. You get it at the least cost compared to any other club. So we are there since 1998. It does not matter, dollar becomes 82 or 78 or 74. We are there. We are here to help all the students or the guest members. So today was this. One more thing I learned about, like sometimes we think the social media has taken up our time. Like we go to I don't have one, but still Insta Reels, YouTube Reels and other things. So the best way to stay away from those is to take up either a speech or a MC or here. So you will spend more time on thinking in your speech. I really liked today's speech. Good luck to everyone, and back to Toastmaster Lalana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep, for that wonderful session. I was really looking forward to your session as the MC today, and I was not disappointed. Like DTM AK Prabhakara said, I also like that line where you said you are the 8 p.m. treasurer and Shiva, Toastmaster Shiva, is the 7 a.m. secretary. And we had a great meeting with 2 of our senior members taking the roles of MC and GE. Whenever DTM AK Prabhakara is behind the lectern, It's a great learning experience for all of us, and today was no different. In fact, I should say it was like an educational session for all of us and more so for the newer members. And I think he's taking this Z session after a long time this time. Like for the last 3 months, I haven't seen him take on this role. So it was, I think, very useful for the new members who have joined our clubs recently, I think. Coming to the feedback, I request all the members to go to Pathways Space Camp and give your feedback to the respective role takers and speakers, and please do inform them about it. If the ballot results are ready, I would request Toastmaster Gaurav to announce the winners of today's meeting.
Today we are work from the BGM CAPG. So I'll be starting off with the CAPG today. So the timer, account, PP and Rameli. So the winner of CAPG goes to the timer Toastmasters.
Why are you not looking at the audience? Every time I'm seeing we are looking at the camera, it has to be the reverse. You look at the audience, camera has to come this side.
Now coming to the MTG, that is the Master Surveys, Table Topic Master, General Evaluation. It goes to one and only Keith and Naked. Coming to the best table topic speaker for today. Okay, goes to again DT and Naked of the Coming to this speaker. Coming to the speaker, it goes to Toastmaster Shiva Prakash. And I've been in this situation a very long time. It feels awkward to call myself for best evaluation. Yeah, the best evaluation is the next person from the competition board. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaurav, for doing the honors. Congratulations to all the winners of today's meeting. Before I close the meeting, I would like to remind all of you once again that we're going to go completely offline from the next meeting. And looking forward to seeing all of you back in Mekong. Hopefully, I should be okay by next week. I now close meeting number 1181 and request everyone to raise for the national anthem.